Hey there, it's Mitzi. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another 5-Book Friday. In this one, we're going to talk about birds. If you follow my channel, you know that I love birds. I love bird watching. I have binoculars where I watch birds in my backyard. I have bird feeders. My husband bought me one of those bird feeders that has the bird camera on it, and so I enjoy watching from the bird camera too, and I just really enjoy them. And right now I have a lot of wildflowers in my garden, and the hummingbirds are just my friend right now. They just love my garden with all the little beautiful flowers on it, and I have some hummingbird feeders too. So I just love the birds. And the other week I was at this wonderful estate sale, and a couple of you have asked me, where do you find these great vintage books? Well, usually it's yard sales. Estate sales is the best place because you can get them super cheap. And these books were pretty much free because the lady was like, just throw them in your cart after I had bought some other things because they were trying to get rid of stuff. So that's the place that I love to shop because I do like all those vintage books. But anyway, I found a couple of coffee table style books that featured birds, and I knew I wanted them because, first of all, I mean, look at the cover of this one. I mean, isn't that gorgeous? That is a beautiful cover. But it has some information inside that I love too about birds, and these beautiful plates of birds in this book. And so I picked up a couple of them, and they're just gorgeous. And so that inspired me to feature birds for one of my 5-Book Fridays. So I'm going to share 5 books from my shelf that are fiction, that have a bird, a type of bird or bird in the title, but also these books that I found that are nonfiction. This one's called Catesby's Birds of Colonial America, and I didn't know anything about Mark Catesby's. I guess that's how you say his name. But at the front of this, it says that this book revives the path-breaking work of Mark Catesby, the English naturalist and illustrator who founded natural history and bird art in America. And it says that he pioneered, it says his pioneering natural history of Carolina, Florida, and the Bahama Islands from 1731 to 1743 was the best illustrative treatment of the flora and fauna of North America until the time of Audubon a century later. So he was 100 years before the famous Audubon and all of his bird plates that we see everywhere. So I was excited to get this because I don't know anything about this Catesby's person. Catesby, and Mark Catesby, and so I'm excited for that. And so I picked that up at the estate sale, as well as the guy that was having the estate sale. I mean, stacks of bird stuff. So he was my people because he loved birds too. The other that I picked up was called North American Birds, and this thing is heavy, but isn't that a gorgeous cover too? And then inside, again, just gorgeous illustrations and pictures in this one as well, and they're just beautiful. And so yes, I find a lot of this book would be a very pricey book if I bought it just on eBay or somewhere. I'm sure these are just shipping along on this hefty book, but like I say, estate sales, you can get them practically for nothing. And then I also had this one that I found at another estate sale a while back. It's The Birds of North America, and this is a popular little book, but this is a reference guide, and I use this a lot. It has little, there's a little heart in it. I don't know who put that in there. But it has little, it has pictures of the birds at different stages of life, as well as facts about them. So I do love just flipping through these because I do love birds. But these books are not really about birds because they are just, now these are the nonfiction, but the books that I'm going to share for 5-Book Friday are books that have either a bird, type of bird in the title, or the word bird in the title. So here we go. So the first book is The Crows of Pear Blossom. I found this at the same estate sale, and I picked it up because it was by Huxley, who wrote Brave New World, and I loved it. I thought it was the cutest thing. Now, when I went to log it into Goodreads, I noticed a couple people didn't appreciate the humor in this like I did, because Mr. Crow is a little mean to Mrs. Crow, but I thought it was funny. It was written in 1944, so you have to kind of remember that about it. But I thought it was funny, and I liked it. I enjoyed it, and it's about these two crows and this rattlesnake who keeps eating their eggs. And the pictures in this really just thrilled me. That's her, just so Mrs. Crow. She's so outdone with the rattlesnake. At that point, she's fussing at the rattlesnake, and it's just a funny little book. So Crows was in the title, so that's my first book for 5-Book Friday. Now, this is a totally different book. This is historical fiction, and it's called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This was very popular, and it won some awards. I can't remember what all it won. It was super popular. It was a bestseller. It's very long, but it is a wonderful historical fiction set in World War II. It's about two sisters, and I really enjoyed this one it was just page turning, for one thing. I do love World War II. I don't get enough of that. I know a lot of people are sick of World War II historical fiction, but I'm not. I still love it just as much as years ago. I've always loved a World War II historical fiction. And this one is one that is heads above the rest too. It's a really good page turning book about these women, and they're separated. The two sisters are separated, and their lives and the differences in the paths that they take during World War II. I mean, it was, seriously, it is long, but it was a page turner, so it didn't feel that long, and I did enjoy that one. The next one is a middle grade that I haven't read yet. It's called Each Little Bird That Sings by Deborah Wiles. I have Love Ruby Lavender by Deborah Wiles right now on my nightstand, and I'm about to start that this week. I haven't read this one, but I've heard great things about it, and I found this at a thrift store, so I'm excited to read it. Let me know if you've read Each Little Bird That Sings or anything else by Deborah Wiles. The next one is a favorite. It's called A Redbird Christmas by Fannie Flagg. Now, I did read this at Christmas a couple of Christmases ago, and it was a highlight for my reading during that Christmas season. But you don't have to read it at Christmas time. It just has a really great, I think the last scene is the Christmas scene that I enjoyed so much. But it takes place all throughout the year, so you don't have to read it at Christmas time. But I did, and I really enjoyed it for Christmas. I think that Elizabeth over at Lizzie Faye Loves Books, I think she said this was her all-time favorite book, if that tells you anything. It is Southern fiction, and it's a heartwarming comfort read. So if you enjoy that kind of book, I highly recommend this one. So I thought I would end on one that we all know. It's a classic and a favorite for many people, and that is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I have this beautiful copy. I haven't read this in many years. In fact, I bought this copy with intent to read it again, and I haven't done that. So I need to pick this up and read it from this beautiful copy. But this was one of those books that was a memorable book about the South that was made into a movie years ago, and a lot of people have read this because it's assigned a lot of times in high school for high school reading. But if you haven't read it, I highly recommend To Kill a Mockingbird. It is one of those classics that I think should be on your top reads that everyone should read in their lifetime. So I do recommend To Kill a Mockingbird. And so those are some books that I pulled from my shelf. I know I have more books with a bird, type of bird, or birds probably on my shelf, but these were some that I just at random picked up. And so I wanted to stick to 5, and I did squeeze in a few nonfiction books that I just wanted to share because they were just so beautiful. So let me know in the comments if you've read any of these, and let me know if you have a book on your shelf that has bird in the title or type of bird in the title. Let me know that too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.